Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to part 14 of our Formula 1 2012 Lotus career mode. Today we go to a night race, the first and only night race of the season at Marina Bay, the Marina Bay Street circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. You can see in the background the Marussia doing a fast lap, not that it'll be that fast considering it's a Marussia. It's the Singapore circuit, but nonetheless, it's a tricky circuit, it really is. It's a night race. In real life, it's one of the toughest races on the calendar because of the humidity, the heat, etc, etc. But it is quite a tricky circuit as well. It's going to be the first time in a while because this is 2012. I'm going to be racing the Singapore Sling, which is sort of at the bottom of the circuit, right on the left-hand side, where you've got that little swiggle, a bit of a Mickey Mouse chicane that is. But I'm looking forward to this race. Should be a good one. After two races for Lotus that have been a bit mediocre, to be quite honest. Italy wasn't great for us. Our qualifying wasn't great, and we got just scraped a points finish. And in Belgium, to be fair, we did do quite well considering our poor qualifying. But qualifying something here in Singapore that we really need to make sure that we mop up. But I do remember getting an email earlier on saying that there is potential for rain on Sunday. So that could definitely hot things up. But there's no good talking about forecast. We might as well just get on with it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to try and beat Kimi and Felipe this weekend. If we beat Felipe, we'll be getting to Ferrari next year. But of course, we'll be racing next year on F1 2013, so that won't really matter. But nonetheless, let's go to the nighttime beauty of Marina Bay and go for Q1 at the Singapore Grand Prix. It seems our bank lap was quite good actually. It hasn't been beaten by the likes of Maldonado, Hulkenberg, Di Resta, Ricciardo and the like. So I think we're definitely going to get through to Q2, which is definitely encouraging, a lot easier than we did last time. And to be fair, this lap hasn't been that much better, so it might be better just to back off this one potentially, put it into lean, and there will be our minimal fuel, as somebody said in the comments last time, maybe to use less fuel on qualifying laps. Obviously, it's a little bit easier just to put a bit more fuel and just get used to the track rather than just going for one lap, which could be quite high risk. But we're going to come on to our last flying lap anyway, I think, of the session. There's no need to go out, I would say, after this, particularly if we're ahead of the drivers who are below us. So there isn't really any problem with that, and this will just be a lap for experience, and if we beat our previous time, well, that's a bit of a bonus. Well, it's quite a way back in the footage now, but I will skip to it. Schumacher's actually gone into the wall, and he's out of the qualifying session, so that's going to make things interesting. Schumacher's going to be out of this qualifying session, so there might be a chance for one of the smaller teams to get through here. There is a yellow flag in Sector 1. We haven't really obeyed it, to be honest. We've just gone straight past Schumacher. But he's managed to put it in the wall at turn 3, and he'll be playing no further part. Right, folks, look who's in 12th. Vitaly Petrov. Look who's in 13th. Heikki Kovalainen. Both Caterhams are through to Q2. Ask why, I don't really understand. I presume that Alonso, Vettel, Kimi, the big guns and the big guys haven't gone on the option tyres, hence why we are above. I don't think we are 7 tenths clear of the big guys, and particularly because Maldonado and the Force Indias have set good lap times as well. That would more than suggest that those guys are on the primes. But a few guys who couldn't get through, it's a bit of a surprise. Bruno Senna and Perez both dropped out of the session. Obviously hadn't got the pace, it was really close. And nearly both Mercedes going out there, as you can see, and nearly our rival Felipe Massa dropping out as well. But Schumacher will start at the back of the grid after his crash earlier on. HRT beat Marussia, but what an achievement from Caterham to be 12th and 13th respectively. It'd be great to see if one of those cars could maybe get into Q3, but I think we'll be definitely challenged a lot more in this next session, particularly considering that we didn't improve on our third lap. But if we can be anywhere near this for the race, I'd definitely encourage it, and I'd certainly be happy with that. But I think realistically, probably 6th or 7th is probably what we're looking for. But we'll have to see what the potential of the other guys are. So without any further ado, let's go on to Q2. Okay, wow. I didn't think we got too much pace. I thought that, yeah, I thought they'd challenge us a bit here. But look at that first sector. Half a second above Webber, so whether he had a poor start to the sector, that's not the best line through there at all. That's lost a lot of time. And that probably lost all the time that we gained there. But Vitaly Petrov is in 10th for the moment. Hopefully we can beat him at least. But a good lap from Sebastian Vettel, 144.8. Let's see if we can get anywhere near that. Well, we are well clear of those in 10th, as you can see, 6 or 7 tenths above. I think that second sector, certainly the portion that you guys saw, was awfully scrappy, and there's a lot of time to gain. But I'm not too fussed about that at the moment. As long as we get a decent banker lap in, we have got 2 more laps on these tyres, fuel dependent of course, and that was a bit tight coming round here. Just think as we push the limits a bit more, that of course the edges of the track at this street circuit become a lot closer, but Heikki Kovalainen, a brilliant lap from him to be in the top 10 as it stands. So Caterham has definitely got some pace this weekend, although we're just about to knock him out of that top 10, and we go up to P7, which should be enough. There's a 6/10 gap to our rival Felipe Massa, so it's clear that sort of the top 7, top 8 are really in a league of their own at the top. But we're going to put a few more laps in. Kamui Kobayashi top of the tree. That's very interesting to see. I wouldn't have predicted before the start of the weekend that in Q1 and Q2 it would be a Sauber and a Lotus at the top of the pile, blimey. But we're going to put a few more laps in just in case the track does evolve, and because, well, we might as well, because the tyres and the fuel permit it. I'm just taking the mick out of our rival Felipe Massa for being way behind. Look how he's just gone. He's just gone top of the pile. And I'm glad I've done another lap because we could be pushed outside the top 10. But a purple Sector 2. It's clear this track is evolving, so it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out. But let's see how we get on. We'll stay till the end of this lap, but we won't, because that is a wide. We had to make sure we bailed out of that corner pretty quickly. I'm just going to make sure we don't get any sort of penalty here. Get back on track. This is very much the proper way to do it, rather than just doing a nice spin and getting back on the track and ruining the tyres. But that's a real shame, that is. It was a good lap, that was. And just a mistake there. We turned in too late, and that could jeopardise our chance to get into Q3. Blimey, we don't like to do it the easy way around here, do we? We really don't. We've used all of our Kers, which doesn't help. And probably the tyres are a little bit cold now, but we are going to go round again, and hopefully we can get the same sort of improvement to get through to Q3 without any real hitch. Well, if we can get it right at the corner we got it wrong last time into that tricky left-hander, we will be fine. As you can see, our sector is much better than it was last time. But it seems somebody else has gone out. Somebody else has crashed out. There's only 15 now left in the session. And 2 drivers must have crashed either into each other, into the same corner. And this could be interesting for DNF, you know, in the race, because there could be the first safety car of the season. Unbelievably, there hasn't been one yet. But let's get to the end of our lap. Let's focus on that. We've got minimal fuel. Fingers crossed the car will stay till then, get it turned in. That's not bad at all. And where's it going to put us? It's going to be a 144 something. It's a 144.2, right up with Felipe Massa. And would you believe it, in the top 3 as it stands, we're quite a way above everybody else actually, is ourselves, Felipe Massa and Kamui Kobayashi. This is going to be a fantastic Q3, providing nothing bonkers happens and we don't get into it. The drama really doesn't stop. Lewis Hamilton was disqualified from that session. No wonder we got bumped up a place. But look at that, disqualified. 20 places put on his grid position. So he'll be starting at the back tomorrow. And Heikki Kovalainen and the Caterham starting 13th. Fantastic. But your drivers in Q3. Daniel Ricciardo get through. That's nice to see for him. Pardon me. But both Ferraris are through. Both Lotuses. That's a good plus for us. Only the one Sauber. Both Red Bulls. Only the one Force India. And of course, only the one McLaren as well. And this field could be really tight, and it could be a good battle for pole, and that's going to happen right now. Well, I have had intel in the comments that say that the tyres you start the race on are the tyres that you qualify on in Q3. So with that in mind, we are just going to go for one hot lap on these tyres. That could be a big risk, it really could. As we haven't got the fuel to do more laps if we've only got 3 laps of fuel. But we're going to do it. We've got low fuel, and if we perfect this lap, this could be pole position.
You're nearly out of fuel, almost out of fuel. You need to pit within the next 2 laps.
I've been really aggressive on this lap, I have to say, and so far it's been a really good lap. For some reason, we're in clear and air, and everybody else has conveniently come out at exactly the same time. but that's not great. Luckily we recover it decently around there. Probably lost a few tenths there to get it turned into this one. Nicely turned in, get it out. Good stuff. Use our DRS, get round the penultimate few corners. Riding on the curb a little bit there. Not the best way to get into Q3, but round this corner that'll be important. A 44.2 was the time in the last session, and a 143.2 is our time in Q3. So a second delta from the last session. Beat that, folks. Well, that was possibly the lap of the year from us. I think I am going to show the full lap on the previous footage with all the engine sound and my commentary input when necessary. But we have took pole there by nearly a second. Absolutely fantastic. We really went for it there, and it was certainly the right decision just to put the 3 laps worth of fuel in. But Sebastian Vettel starts second, Webber third, Alonso in fifth, Button fourth, Massa in sixth, our teammate seventh, and then it's Kobayashi, Di Resta and Ricciardo that round out the top 10. But remember, it could rain tomorrow. The forecast was right. I can't see rain, but apparently according to the forecast it is raining. And the objective, as usual, the Lotus team are quite ambitious in their objective, but the chance of rain in this race is 62%. We'll start on the option tyres, it looks like. Well, we have to start on the options. I wonder whether that... well, I can't tell if it's rain. There's a 62% chance of rain, so it might well change throughout the race. But at the moment, we're going to start on the option tyres, as we have to do from the Q3 session. But it might be very quick, in that we might have to come in for some new tyres. But this is going to be a very interesting race, I think, with the weather counted as well. It's our second pole of the season. Certainly recovered our poor qualifying form here, blimey. But we might get off to a bit of a bad start here. Massa starts in 6th, Kimi in 7th. And this could be a fantastic race. Very overcast. The rain could come at any moment. But for now, let's focus on the job in hand. The lights are illuminated above the drivers. There's nothing ahead of us on the grid. Just Sebastian Vettel alongside. And we are away for the Singapore Grand Prix of 2012. Using about half of our curves at the start. Although we haven't really got to the best getaway. Have to give... Whoa, Vettel. Blimey. Come out to the outside a little bit. We gave him the space on the inside, which we will give him on the inside again. But he just completely, whether he outbroke himself or what there, I'm not entirely sure. But he could have really gone for the move there. We were caught napping a little bit at the start. But it seems that since then, we've really got on it. And coming to the end of Sector 1, on lap 1, we have pulled away from the rest of the field. They are nowhere. Whether Vettel has perhaps sustained some damage from the contact he went she had with us, I'm not particularly sure. But I'm going to look just to see if we can increase the gap before, which I'm going to say lightly, but I think he's right, before the clear eventuality of rain at some point. The two guys behind, Vettel and Button, really haven't let us go away, and I have to say, I don't know if this is psychological or what, but there is a real lack of grip on this track now. I can't see any rain anywhere, or any spots, or any highlights of rain, but we, in the first lap, went a little bit. We went away. We've made 1 or 2 mistakes since then, and it just seems that we haven't used all our curves there. That's probably not the best. But that's the fastest lap. Obviously, we are the lead of the field, so it would be the fastest lap at the point we cross the line. But we need to make sure that we can get back into this and be a bit better. But Button setting a lap half a second better than us. So that just highlights that they've got back into it a little bit. But I am waiting for the rain, but it seems this track is already low grip, so when it does start raining, I'm really worried about what will happen, and if it doesn't start raining by lap 7, how perhaps we can lengthen this stint to make sure we only make 1 stop. There's a lot of questions still to be answered. That was certainly a better lap last time, a 1:47 dead compared to the fastest new lap, which is from Felipe Massa. I have to say, it was a 3-horse race, but the Ferrari driver really getting into it now. I don't know where this rain is. Again, it's a little bit slippy on the track. Here comes Vettel with the DRS, but doesn't go for the move. But I think it's always the key that if it does start raining, the time to pit is when DRS is disabled. But whether that notification comes for us at the top, I'm not really sure. But not really sure what will happen here. Vettel not utilising his DRS to his desired effect. I have to say, that's a little bit wide. Oh dear, we're in the wall, and that's some of our front wing gone. That really won't help. We'll have to replace that at the pit stop. But that's our first mistake of the race, and that might be a real worry. Not much grip, and with the potential of rain, well, we might have to change the front wing, and that might be crucial. So Well, we want to really get away here, but with a bit of front wing loss, that's going to give us less downforce, and it's not great. We're making a few mistakes here and jeopardising our big chance. I gather that Vettel's got a bit of a problem. He's fell behind Button and Massa. And as you can see, he's down in 4th, and if you look quickly at the mini-map, which I shouldn't really be doing, I'm trying to concentrate, you will see that he's holding up a few of the guys behind him, so I'm not sure what's happened to Vettel there, but it certainly helped us by reducing the opposition, get through this corner a lot more tidily than before. The Singapore sling is horrible, and I'm so glad that in the modern day that's been took out, but not only a few laps left to the pit stop now, and I have to say, I don't know where this rain's going to come from. Well, there was clearly a problem. Well, there was clearly a problem for Sebastian Vettel. He's now running at the back of the field. He's pitted for the prime tyres, and there must have been a real problem for Vettel there. Not particularly sure what it was. We didn't hit him, so don't go down in the comments going, well, you must have whacked him off. But no, I don't really know. He was behind us, and then all of a sudden he just fell back. So real peculiar stuff there. But only a lap to go before our pit stop, and with some front wing damage, it's quite impressive how we're holding onto this lead. Some of the big boys trying to go for the undercut then. Interesting. Jensen, Button and the likes all coming into the pits. In fact, where's Massa? Oh, Massa's just behind us. There's Massa. But apart from Massa, pretty much everyone's coming into the pits. We're going for a lighter strategy, it seems, which is interesting. Kovalainen in 3rd? They're not coming in for the Inters, are they? No, they're coming for the Primes. How is Kovalainen in 3rd? That's quite incredible. But they've all come in for the Prime tyres. So whether they get the undercut will be interesting. But I can't quite believe that. Here comes Massa, though, with the DRS. Gonna have to get the Kers out, but we should be alright. But Heikki Kovalainen in the Cater in 3rd place. That's probably the moment of the season. We may well give up the race win to Massa here, because he won't have to make any sort of front wing change during the pit stop. Not that no, not rich mix. I need to get into the lean mix, but it's not going to matter. Very conservative coming into the pits there. We didn't really want to make any mistakes, so we're in. It's 37 mile an hour through the pit lane here, so very, very slow. Will the guys behind be able to jump us? Somebody's out of the Grand Prix. Could that be a safety car, I wonder? Who's gone? Let's have a look. It's Bruno Senna in the Williams, so no particular big player. But we could get our first safety car of the year, particularly if there's a bit of a pile-up. But where are we going to come out? Massa's just about jumped it. It was a good stop, really, considering the circumstances. But where are the other guys going to be? Look how close it is between ourselves and Felipe Massa. But they're all coming on the start-finish straight now. It's going to be close. Really close. We need to be on our guard. Come on, here we go. It's tight getting out of the pit lane here, really is. But I don't think it is going to be that close. That's extraordinary. The other guys have really not benefited from that undercut. And now it's our time, really quickly, I have to say. Because I think Massa probably got the pace over us. Not really got the grip, though, to get the DRS activated and get past Felipe Massa. It's certainly worth using all of our Kers to try and make this move. This could be the move for the win of the Grand Prix. Defend a little bit, but we just find the room, and we are back past Felipe Massa for the lead of the race. And we need to hold this now for the rest of the race to give ourselves our first race win, and a brilliant one, I think it's fair to say. Really well defended and really well done around the Singapore circuit. But very peculiar that those guys behind didn't use the undercut to their advantage. I believe I've just heard, if I've heard correctly, that there are now spots of rain out on the track. So we've got to drive this home for 6 laps. And now all of a sudden rain's going to come into play. Well, we knew that it would come into play at some point, but how early or late that was would be a question. So it all depends on when this rain does come. But this looks like it's going to be a good lap. Certainly our personal best of the race on these primes. It's a 146.6. That's led to the gap rise to Massa behind a little bit. But cracking stuff by Massa, really, who hasn't performed well this season, to be up with us. And it'd be heartbreaking if we lost to him, particularly because he's our rival. But where's this rain going to come in? I'll give you an update when I know any more. It's quite visible now, actually. Certainly through that few corners. You can see it on the track if you look closely. So when is the... well, it's clear now. You can see it quite clearly. So we're going to have to be quite careful coming into these corners. Because if there's any spots on the ground where we hit in the rains there, we could be straight round, which doesn't help against Felipe Massa, who's obviously not bothered by the rain. He's not taking any caution. And really, him being right behind doesn't help us. And I think we are going to have to pit for the inters at some point, but we might have to wait to see if the rain increases and whether the pit engineer reckons and encourages us to go onto the intermediates. But this could throw up the race into something very more exciting. Look at this then. Massa's just been sent around spinning. We closed the door, to be fair, on Massa, but did we close it too much? He definitely did make contact with us, but there was certainly room left there by us for him to make that, but he didn't quite get the turning right. And Massa is round, and that's his race winning aspirations all gone. This sector is getting quite slippy now. Oh, luckily just keeping it on the road there at that corner, but sector 2 is definitely the slippiest, and coming to this Singapore sling, I mean, just look at the lack of grip we've got. Everyone else will have that lack of grip as well though, so just take it tentatively through here. The other drivers might gain on us, but keeping it out of the wall's the most important thing, but Webber's going to gain there. Oh, it's getting very slippy now. Just use our curves to get out of that corner effectively, and it might be time very soon to come and pit onto the intermediate tyres. I mean, look at the braking here. Oh, Webber's round. Webber's spun it. Webber's just pushed too hard there. Is it now time to pit for the intermediate tyres? Button's round as well. Button spun it. And I think that confirms that it is time, because everyone's going spinning. And someone's out. Who's out? Someone's gone out of the race. And it's Button. Button's out. Button has retired. Look at Kovalainen in 8th. He's going to go up to 7th. And with the amount of spins, I think it is probably time to come in for the intermediate tyres. It might be stupid, but it might be a brilliant strategy. Everyone is coasting round because of this rain. And surely this rain is only going to increase. This could be a race-losing or race-winning strategy. There's another driver out. Who's gone now? Button's gone. Who's gone as well? Let's have a look. Alonso's gone. Some big players in this season are all out. Well, this is quite unbelievable. Someone else has gone as well. They're all spinning. Webber's gone as well. Webber has retired. Oh, wow. Well, this rain has come as a complete shock to everyone. And I think we might well be here with a masterstroke. Someone else has retired now. Seems they're all going spinning straight, crashing into the wall. Who's that now? Button has gone, as well as Alonso. Petrov's now gone. That's a shame. But we're in for the intermediates. That might be a good move. It might be a particularly bad move. These tyres might not have any grip. But look at Heikki Kovalainen. He's going to come back. Oh dear, there's 2 more out. It's last man standing here. Hamilton's gone. Who else has gone? Vettel's now gone. Oh my goodness me. This might just be a masterstroke. Well, I don't think it matters that we've gone onto the Indus. I don't think anybody else is going to be left in the race. But this might be the wrong decision. I mean, look, there's not really much grip. But another one's gone now. There's a big... Look at the pile-up. There's a pile-up somewhere. Massa's going to be included in that pile-up. And there's going to be a lot of drivers out of this Grand Prix. Wow, this is unbelievable. Someone else has gone, I think. 13 now we're down to in this Grand Prix. Right, let's just run through who's gone. Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Schumacher, Rosberg, Webber, Button, Di Resta, Pick, Vettel, Alonso, Petrov and Senna. And left in the race are 12 drivers. Karthikeyan, De La Rosa, Massa, Verne, Glock, Perez, ourselves, Kovalainen, Maldonado, Kobayashi, Ricciardo, and the leader, our teammate Kimi Räikkönen. And the rain is only getting worse. And Kovalainen's gone for a spin. I think going for these tyres is probably the best move. We might even have to go onto the... there's Kobayashi who spun as well. We might well have to go onto the wet tyres at some point. This is quite unbelievable. Maldonado struggling to keep it on the track. And I think this is going to be a masterstroke here. We sail past. There's 10 drivers left. Kobayashi and Kovalainen have both retired. Oh my goodness me. Well, this is just unbelievable. We've gone wide there. Oh, Kimi's out. Kimi spun it. Don't retire, Kimi. Come on, keep going, keep going. I think Maldonado's giving him a push. At the end of the day, if you finish in this race, you get a point. This has gone from... This has just gone bonkers now. We're struggling to keep it in on our intermediates. Just look at the visibility. It's shocking. I think it might be time for wets now. This is the most unbelievable race I've ever raced in. 14 drivers out. Kimi is still in. Thank goodness for that. But, because Kovalainen's out. Oh, this is unbelievable. Glock's also got... This is just crazy. 9 now. Perez, both Saubers have gone. And this is just going to be a complete, literally, a race of attrition. I think he's just meant to be careful out there. And Ricardo spun! Oh, we've gone straight into it. Get out the way! We certainly don't want to get a penalty for this. Oh, well, Ricardo's gone, I think. Yes, Ricardo has retired. But he was right in our way there. And our car might have inflicted the damage. But seriously, this could be a 1-2 here for Lotus if we can both finish. But it's time for the wets, I think. Tyres wet. There we go. This is the most unbelievable race I have ever raced in. Could be crazy, this could. And it is time for Inters, I think, now. The track is just sodden. And on the podium at the moment, it's ourselves, Maldonado and Raikkonen. And the little teams, both HRTs, both still in the race, they are going to get big points if they can remain. But I think everyone's going to cotton on surely now that you need to come into the pits. I think Maldonado stayed out though, amazingly. Is it wet enough for wets? I would say so. I mean, look at this. The pit lane's just sodden. Kimi's sure to be coming in because he's lost his front wing. Hopefully he comes in for wets or inters. That would be sensible. If he comes in for the primes, it just shows how stupid the AI are. But 3 laps to go. Maldonado is still on the dry tyres. And I mean, we're still struggling to keep it on the track on the wets. That just proves how little grip there is. Whoever's in 4th is pitting as well, but Timo Glock's on the podium. Oh, this might not have been a good move, to be honest. The wets really aren't ready yet. I don't know, though. We're going to be quicker than the others, I'm sure. What's Kimi gone on to? Intermediates, finally. Something a bit sensible in Timo Glock. And I think, ladies and gents, that's going to be the podium. But it's whether we can get to the end, that's the question. Don't need to push too much to catch the Maldonado, because if we're struggling on the wets, I'd dread to think how much he's struggling on the dries. This is unbelievable. I've never seen a race like this, and you know what? This has got to be hands down race of the season. Absolutely fantastic. But it's just a race of attrition, really. There's 8 drivers left. Maldonado practically skating through and just tiptoeing through the track, trying not to spin it. And we're tiptoeing as well, and we're catching him like mad. That just proves. And as you can see, coming onto the straight now. He's really tiptoeing it through. Keeping it sensible though, mind. He's got to come in for wets, I'm sure, at one point. And now we have got past Maldonado. There isn't any other opposition, I don't think, now. Unless we spin it, we should sail home. Quite literally, sail home in this Grand Prix to record our first ever race win. Maldonado pits. It's a Lotus 1-2. And just wait until... I think you guys have seen, and I showed you before... But look who's just about to come onto the podium. Unfortunately, this isn't updated. There we go. Timo Glock for Marussia. Jesus Christ. This is mad. But you know what? It's absolutely fantastic. I think you guys will agree. All the remaining drivers now on intermediate tyres. So I don't think there's any risk of anybody going out. Although there is a yellow flag. Somebody might have had an incident. And somebody else has gone. Who's that? It's John-Eric Verne. In the Toro Rosso, so he's out of the race, and that just confirms that even the Inters probably aren't really suitable for this. Fingers crossed Kimi finishes though, that'd be absolutely fantastic for the team. But this is just, well, unbelievable. And we've got just over a lap to go, and we are definitely in the best position to finish this race at the top. Here we are then, on our final lap. I think we are looking past, because of how much has happened, the big achievement here. Without any failure now, we are going to win our first Grand Prix for Lotus, our first Grand Prix in our career. In quite extreme circumstance. I mean, we'd still got the pace to be the leader. We got past Felipe Massa when it was still dry. But we are going to win this race by quite a distance. But this is, I think, possibly the weirdest race I have ever raced in. It's going to be a Lotus 1-2, which I didn't expect. And B, I don't think you could really bet on Timo Glock getting a podium in this race. I mean, if you'd had a bet on that, you'd be a few £1,000 up. Certainly if you'd have betted on the top 3. But, of course, let's not talk about gambling. Oh, bit of slip and slide there. There's no point pushing at all. We are just going to sail home. We've got 40 seconds plus. That's the gap between ourselves and Raikkonen. But as a real-life race, no, as long as no one was hurt... this would be quite the race to be remembered for years. But this has been crazy. I mean, it's going to be remembered by me because we won the race, but I think it's got to be remembered for being one of the most bonkers races that I've ever seen. I said rain would come into it. I think it's fair to say rain did come into it and spiced up the race a lot. But coming to the last sector now, we've just got to get through these last few corners. We're going to take it slowly. There's no point going too quick. We've got an incredible margin over our teammates. And coming around the last few corners now. Coming onto the last straight. And here we go then. Coming around the last corner. We have won a race in 2012 in quite extraordinary circumstances. And we have won the 2012 Singapore Grand Prix. Starting from... Oh, what a great time for the controller to disconnect. A fantastic... What? Kimi finished 4th? Probably got a penalty for something, didn't he? Oh dear. Well, that takes the magic out of it a bit. Because he got a 20-second penalty. But look at that. Look at that race. That is quite unbelievable. Screenshot that for the masses. Screenshot it for the ages. Toby Jones in first. We've won the race. Timo Glock in the Marussia finishes second. From 22nd on the grid. 51 seconds was the gap. Maldonado third. Really gutting that Kimi got a penalty and finished 4th, but I think we'll let it slide. Karthikeyan, got to be his best result of his career in 5th. HRT picking up 18 points. Marussia picking up 24. Lotus picking up 37 and Williams picking up 15. And amazingly, Verne, Ricciardo and Kobayashi all get points even though they didn't finish. But apart from that, everybody else not finishing the Singapore Grand Prix. That, ladies and gents, is quite incredible. Let's have a look how it affects the championship. And we have zoomed up the championship past Schumacher, past Kobayashi, past Grosjean. But because none of the big boys finished, it didn't really affect the Drivers' Championship. But where are we in the Constructors now? Wow. That is a transformation, isn't it? We were just above Mercedes at the start of the race. And we're now 10 points above Sauber in 4th. And Toro Rosso now down to 11th. And Marussia and HRT now playing it with the big boys, the likes of Force India. What an incredible race. Absolutely fantastic. Who hasn't scored any points? So only Petrov, Kovalainen and Senna now not to score points this season. Look at Karthikeyan, and that just makes me smile on 10 points there. But we are now up to 77 points, along with Perez. And that race win might well put us in a good position to finish 6th at the end of the season. But let's have a look at the celebrations on the podium. I think the achievement that will be overlooked is our win. I think what will be looked at more is the fact that a Marussia finished 2nd. We got pole. We were probably expected to win the race. And looking at the result that we'd won just in isolation, you'd think, well, fair play, you won it from pole. But if you looked at the podium, there, wow, that's a picture to behold. Marussia in Parc Fermé, Lotus in Parc Fermé, Williams in Parc Fermé, and Mercedes, a Ferrari, a Red Bull, a McLaren not to be seen. And that was quite extraordinary. And there we go. We took our first ever race win. Schumacher didn't finish, but fair enough, he was ahead of his teammate there. But we're now up to level 7. And let's see what is said now. So, as you can see, up to 7th in the championship. 6 races left as well. No rain forecast for Suzuka, that's always unfortunate. But because we've got the win there, our objectives are increased ever more. We are now winning the championship battle between ourselves and Kimi. 2 podiums, outraced him 9 times. And we've got more than enough championship points. But quite believable, unbelievable really. We didn't actually get the fastest lap, but we were quite close to it. That's a real shame. Vettel got the fastest lap. So not quite the triple crown there. Or the, what's it called? The full Monty, that's the one, of fastest lap, pole and win. But cracking that was. First season win, being congratulated by all the members of the team. And I have to say, even though the Singapore Grand Prix usually brings up a few shocks, that isn't really one I was thinking of. But I think that deserves a like, don't you? What a fantastic race that was. And I hope you guys did enjoy that. I've been TIJ Gaming, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the Japanese Grand Prix. I can't really say, unfortunately, that it'll be as exciting as that. But well, I said before the race, didn't I? Why on earth did they show Marussia in the hot lap? Well, they'd obviously got some. They got some inside knowledge. Marussia 2nd, Lotus third, then Lotus first, and Williams third. Quite unbelievable. What a race. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.